Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR, HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
In all things in beauty. Welcome to RadioAMB, designed for those who want to live a long and vibrant life. I'm Patty Smucker, and I've been in the industry for over 40 years. RadioAMB, which stands for American Made Beauty, is where we tell the secrets behind the making of health and beauty products. Our segment sponsor today is AmericanMadeBeauty.com, a beauty platform designed to help consumers find beauty companies that are implementing the industry's best practices to bring you quality products and services. Go to AmericanMadeBeauty.com and find beauty products and services that meet a strict set of standards that reflect their American heritage. Do you want to sample some of our brands? Click on the consumer page and sign up for your free American Made Beauty box, customized by the brands to give you products that just you select. That's AmericanMadeBeauty.com. You know, we've talked about wellness often on RadioAMB, and at the heart of the wellness movement for centuries has been spa. Now, the term spa is derived from the name of a town, Spa, Belgium, whose name is known back to Roman times, when the location was also called Aquae Spanine. Spa therapies have existed since the classic times, when taking baths with water was considered as a popular means of treating illness. The practice of traveling to hot or cold springs in hopes of effecting a cure of some ailment dates back to prehistoric times. Archaeologists in investigations near hot springs in France and Czech Republic revealed the Bronze Age weapons and offerings. In Great Britain, ancient legend credits early Celtic kings with the discovery of the hot springs in Bath, England. The development of equipment to provide spa services came with the demand for restorative solutions. One example is the modern-day hydro massage, where the client either stands or lies down on a bed and pumped water is directed at the body. It began with Tobias Smanat. In 1752, he published an essay on the external use of water, described pumped water as a useful treatment of hysteric disorders, obstruction of meninges, and all cases in which it was necessary to make a revulsion from the head to invite the juices downward. Very interesting paper I'd like to read. Since the 1960s, hydromassage has been gaining popularity. My guest today certainly doesn't date back to the 1960s, but she is one of the professionals shaping the modern-day spa experience for guests all over the world. Polly Johnson, VP of Spa Equip, leads a team of professionals who conceptualizes, builds, and equips spa owners with everything they need to turn the key and open the door for the first day of doing business. During our feature segment, you'll hear how Polly got in the business, what's happened in the spa business in the last 20 years, and some of the most interesting projects that she's worked on. During our middle segments of our show today, we'll talk a little bit about the spa equipment as a company, why the best spas are building their facilities by using Polly and her team, and some of the interesting things that you should know if you were considering either going to a spa or building one. And finally, in our last segment, we call Beauty Biz, we'll talk a little bit about the industry, what new equipment and wellness opportunities lies ahead. So let's get started. Let me tell you a little bit more about Polly. Over the last 20 years, Polly Johnson has played an instrumental part serving the wellness community through the spa industry. Under her direction, Spa Equip has become the preferred vendor for most major resort brands, including Fairmont Raffles, Four Seasons, Starwood, Marriott International, and Ritz-Carlton. Spa Equip has offices in U.S., U.K., and Hong Kong. Using the company's pioneering IT capacities and extensive expertise, they've developed customized solutions used to establish standards employed by their large international spa customers for technical configuration and new building constructions of spas and wellness centers. The end result ensures each location is built with integrity and consistency to the brand vision. This proprietary approach has put Spa Equip in the enviable position as the market leader in building world-class wellness centers around the world. Welcome, Polly. I'm thrilled to have you with us today.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you very much for letting me be a part of your show.
When you think back to your life, did you think that you would be at the heart of the wellness community early in your life?
Well, no, and I think just about everybody in the spa industry didn't dream of being in the spa industry as a child, so it's certainly worthy of dreaming about as an adult.
That's right. I'm sure people say, Polly, it must be tough to be you, to have to go and spend time in spas and getting spa services.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the research part of it is fun, although you are paying attention the whole time.
Yes. So relaxation isn't necessarily a part of that whole process.
No, you're alert, very alert.
Yeah. So how did it happen? How did you get your career started in the spa business?
Well, there are a few colleges that do this, but generally, like I'd say, close to 90% of the people in the spa industry, I joined it in what's called the stumble method.
The stumble method, I love
that.
The
stumble method. My college career takes me back to communications media. I was actually a radio announcer in northern Minnesota. Worked for the TV station Mary Tyler Moore is famous for a while, and went to California. And after I had children, I moved north and met this wonderful French guy named Philippe Serine at a church potluck, just pure. And this is a gentleman who's still my partner, as a business partner, still is working together, and with me and owner of the company, which has recently been acquired by Universal Companies, which is even more exciting news. It's an amazing combination. But he just told me he's been importing hydrotherapy equipment from France, and this is just breaking ground long before any hotel even thought about putting spa on their flag. So we met, we talked, everything took off. Suddenly everybody had a spa, and like anybody sitting in the eye of the storm of a new trend, you learn from everybody around you, and you process it until it becomes a whole new industry. Right. So it's been cool. It's been very fun.
And so describe what that means. He was importing equipment for hydrotherapy. And so define for our listeners what exactly is hydrotherapy.
Well, hydrotherapy is the simplest term is just that it's hot water, and hot water does a lot of wonderful things for your body. But there's many different kinds of hot water, as you described it earlier. So he was importing hydrotherapy tubs that were coming from France, and they were jetted tubs that are very highly specialized, and they come with a very powerful jetted hose that's used by the technician, a trained technician, of course, not by the guest, to be able to do a powerful massage on their body. And it's like a hand massage, but you're using water, which can penetrate so much deeper into your muscles that it's used by sports trainers around the world. It's used certainly by spas, and it has amazing therapeutic benefits for every guest. And hot water by itself, with the combination of either products that are in the tub, or we're in Calistoga, which is a geothermal town, so we have geothermal mineral waters coming out of the ground. Those are combined to create a very relaxing experience for the customer, but also a rehydrating and an experience that helps them to drain the toxins out of their body eventually.
Right. So, and when we make claims like that, when we say that these therapies using water, I mean, as I said in the opening, these claims go back centuries and centuries. Has there also been a lot of medical validation of how powerful these types of restorative treatments are?
Yes, and what's interesting is, over the years it's been anecdotal. More recently, there's been a number of studies and a collection of studies that's created by the Global Wellness Summit. And if you just go to globalwellness.com to see the information that they have, it's an enormous database that literally brought tears to the eyes of everyone as they announced it, as I was sitting among all my high-end peers in the spa industry, because it validated that everything they've been talking about is scientifically proven. Mm-hmm. And some things, of course, are not scientifically proven, and they were in tears because it proves that some things are not true. Uh-huh. So it's nice to be able to take that information and to put it down on paper with studies and true research.
Right. What were some of the things that were validated that made you really proud?
Wow, the most important one is just that massage by itself is not necessarily a pampering experience, but it is truly a therapeutic experience that is helping people to relax, yes, but it's also helping people to have a better circulation in their body, helping them to really be able to deal physically as well as mentally with the stresses in the world. And I'm old enough to remember a time before we had smartphones,
right,
which seemed so smart at the time when they came out,
right,
but now they're driving us all.
Right.
So everybody needs a break, and everybody also needs a body break.
Right, right. And the whole idea of having that physical touch, there is the whole pharmacy within our bodies that release all sorts of chemistry that occurs
yes.
when you are relaxed, as well as being able to have the human touch. So
exactly.
When you think back over this 20-year period of time when it was just a lot of anecdotal claims that were being made and now actually seeing it validated, what are some of the things that have happened in the spa and wellness space since you got involved?
Oh, gosh. Well, it went from a point where it was more of a luxury in the destination side, because a lot of the spas really originated out of destination, the whole concept of spa. Mm-hmm. And it evolved into resorts. Of course, day spas took off, and now we have it to the point where there are franchises mm-hmm. about spas. And the goal for any business, of course, is to make money. But more importantly, I've seen that the goal that almost every owner that I'm working with or have worked with over the years, the intent is not, I'm going to get rich. It's, I'm going to live a lifestyle working with people to take care of them, and it's such a caring community on all levels, whether it's destination, whether it's a hotel, spa, or even a day spa or a single practitioner.
But I find that really interesting that the goal of the owner is first and foremost, I mean, it sounds like it's somebody who's coming from a place of service, but also that they're choosing to have a lifestyle for themselves in which
Absolutely.
They're being able to participate in a holistic and sort of a rejuvenative environment.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's also a community. Mm-hmm. The spa has become a community for certainly people that are traveling, they're like-minded, but also in communities, small towns by themselves have become communities. And that person becomes, if you think of a coffee house, everybody
right.
goes to a coffee house.
Right.
Those that go to a spa have a tendency to go back. And they're welcome back. They feel the love. They really feel refreshed after they've walked out the door, having regenerated or reinvigorated themselves by participating in a massage, but also by participating in a community experience.
And that community experience is really what provides that opportunity for it to be a lifestyle in which you're ongoing and being able to reinforce. I know in some of the shows we've done before is we logically know what these things are that we need to do, but it's finding the support systems to consistently do it day in and day out. So it sounds like community really is one of the parts that makes it have more longevity.
Absolutely, mm-hmm. absolutely. Of course, running a spa is a business, too. So you have to run the business correctly. You have to have a spa that's going to be designed correctly. Mm-hmm. You have to have a space and certainly have all the what's called back of house, sort of a hotel term, but there's that which the customer sees and that which is behind the scenes. Think of a restaurant, but it's back of house. Mm-hmm. And ultimately it all has to work so that it's efficient.
Right. And we're going to talk a little bit in our next section about some of that back-of-the-house kinds of things. But
sure.
Tell us a little bit about some of the projects that you've done that stand out. Which one would you say that stands out in your mind as being the most innovative?
Oh, my gosh. Well, it kind of depends upon when we're talking about it. Four Seasons Westlake was an amazing project that I worked on. And it was driven by by a dream, really, from the ownership that wanted to be able to create a wellness center. This is before anybody even started talking about wellness, and I would say maybe, 12 years ago.
Right.
Large, expansive, and they created a spa, but with and a hotel that was there too. But they created also experiential areas where they could have concerts and they could have cooking, and they could have a doctor's area where there's a whole clinic, and really create a space that someone could go to and enjoy it as a hotel. They could dabble into the spa, and they could just suddenly find a whole new world of experiences and clinical analysis on who they are, so that they can find their best self as a human being, but also as a well person.
Yeah, and it is a spectacular place. I've had the good fortune of being there, and actually one of the other guests that we've had on the show, the Yamaguchi's lifestyle salon, is there in that facility. It really is. If you've never been, it's definitely one of the things that should be on your bucket list.
Definitely.
Tell us about an aspect that was one of the hardest projects that you worked on.
Ooh, the hardest. The hardest are always in foreign countries. I hate to say that, but it generally it's not in all foreign countries, obviously. It's just in those that have construction issues. Most of the major brands that we work with when we're working in the design side, they take into account, all the codes and all the issues and all the design concepts, including ADA, that we do here in the United States. But the construction of it and the interpretation of the construction documentation is always challenging. So it sounds boring, but it's just part of the frustration level. I mean, in Mexico, sometimes they build it, they tear it down, they build it, they tear it down, they build it again. Is that what you want?
Right.
Until you get it right, and it is a luxury of having, the labor that can do that and it has that kind of spirit.
Right.
But if you say horror story, it's usually a construction issue. But every spa has its funny little secrets. I've done articles in the past about treatment tables that were made out of marble, and someone went to give them a massage, and the client slipped right off.
Oh my goodness! Literally just wow, makes sense. It slipped right off the table.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So there's a lot of creative ideas that come into the spa business because you really have a blank page on what kind of experience you're creating for someone who's walking in the door. Mm-hmm. And that experience can sometimes be interpreted in a brilliant way and sometimes in a goofy way.
Right.
You've heard about the barbecue massages and there's the chocolate massages, and everybody's got some way of tying something in that's local to try and get it indigenous. Cilius Watts is an awesome treatment. I've done it where it was founded up in just north of Calistoga in Harbin. But everybody's in the nude. Except for me.
Which one is that one?
That was Harbin Springs.
Okay.
So sometimes the creativity comes out of, lack of a better word, sort of a hippie world.
Right.
Which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it turns mainstream.
Right.
So, the fascinating part is where that creativity comes from. And then watching it grow. I mean, at this point, Guatsu is worldwide, and it's definitely a treatment, a hydrotherapy treatment, but a very innovative treatment that started about 15 years ago.
And but that brings up the point too when you're talking about it being difficult as far as in foreign countries is the same way that we sort of have these indigenous ingredients and societal norms or e-norms that fall into sort of wellness and spa. Is that part of the difficulty in foreign countries because their sensibilities about the way they take care of the human body is very, very much tied to culture and consequently can be very different?
Oh, absolutely. And what might to us look like, oh, that's crazy, is a perfectly normal thing to do in another country. So it's a learning lesson for us and also something where we can teach others around the world how it's done here. 20 years ago, everybody wanted to be a world-class European spa. About 15 years ago, everybody wanted to be a world-class American spa. We're like, what does that mean?
Right.
And what it really meant was that the world-class European spa was really more of a clinical experience. They had a lot of insurance covering the services or treatments, if you can call them that. And it was a much more medical experience. When the Americans started jumping on, and I'm one of them, started jumping on the bandwagon of, wow, that's cool, let's take that to the United States. All the luxury and left behind a lot of the medical just because of the code here. So the interpretation of what it is worldwide is just kind of a fantasy. It's a fascinating process to see how the world talks to each other through spa.
Right, exactly. And it is. It's very much of a language that is taking place on so many different levels, from luxury to the interpretation of relaxation and what it means to rejuvenate and to have wellness. But that's a conversation that's been taking place for centuries. So it's very exciting.
And it will continue.
And it will continue. Well, and we're going to continue this conversation as well, but right now we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we will start our segment we call In the Jar and learn a little bit more about what is Spa Equip and why their approach has made them a market leader in building wellness centers around the world. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Over here. Here's a secret for a virus-free computer. ESET. They've been a pioneer in the antivirus industry for over 25 years. 25 years of innovative, top-rated antivirus protection. ESET's award-winning security solutions provide a safe online experience for over 100 million home and business computer owners. They are so affordable, fast, and simple to use. So be gone, you blue screen of death. ESET's on my computer. If it's not on yours, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ESET now.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the Internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now, it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com, and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
Where positive people and radio unite. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. This is RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm Patty Smucker, and we're here with VP of Corporate Accounts, Polly Johnson with Spa Equip. And this is the segment we call In the Jar, where we talk about the unique ingredients that make a particular brand stand out. In this case, we're talking about a company called Spa Equip. Polly, tell us a little bit more about exactly what is Spa Equip.
Well, Spa Equip is a company that specializes primarily in new build and equipment, I should say, in general, just equipment that goes into a spa and supplies. And the best way to describe it is if you go into a spa and turn the building upside down, everything on the ceiling, after you turn it upside down, is what we do. We also do showers. We do hydrotherapy tubs. We do some, fixtures, pedicure, that sort of thing. But it's a spa-specific equipment, supplies, and now products, because we are now acquired by a company called Universal Companies, world famous as a major company inside doing all spa products, all spa skincare products, as well as equipment. And together, we have become certainly the world's only company that does what we do. But Spa Equip's specialty, and the reason I think I'll call it our magic sauce, is that we started getting involved in projects in the design phase. Architects generally don't know what spa is, but they know how to build a building. Our interior designers know how to make a building beautiful, but they don't necessarily know about spa. So working alongside other spa consultants, because there's many in the world, and having that experience working alongside them for now 20 years, we have put together the support system to help them to understand every piece of equipment, every electrical, what the amperage is, what the PSI is, what all the technical needs of creating that space with that specialized equipment. And then the spa can really then focus on their treatments and on their training, which is the critical part of their job, to make sure everybody's performing correctly and doing their job.
And what within that proprietary system you're talking about, there being some very specific needs that spa has. Give us an example, from plumbing. What would be so significantly different about a spa that a general architect or someone who's used to building buildings wouldn't know?
Oh, well, generally I'd say it relates to their, if you have a hydrotherapy tub, it's not going to be 110. It's going to be a 240. It's got to have a certain kind of phase that goes with it, which is an electrical term, and it needs a certain amount of pressure and a certain size pipe coming up to it. So normally your water inlets that are coming into your toilets, your sinks, even your standard bathtub are much smaller. You need larger size pipes, and you have to think about that before you lay the slab out, because it needs to go in the slab.
Right. Right.
So creating just that one piece of equipment needs to have so many specialized ways of putting that in, and we'll spot where that tub should go so the therapist can do their job around that tub. We'll add to it. Here's where the hot and cold comes in. Here's where the plug needs to be. Here's where the breaker needs to be, and all of the specifications, so that it's not. We're taking the wisdom that we have of many years and applying it to that even one piece of equipment, and we do that throughout the whole spa. So, what we'll create for a project, we'll start with the floor plan, and we'll help them to build it. We'll help them to design it, make sure that they have everything they need to do their job. And the joke in the spa business is that we're really not, we're the spa business, but we're also the laundry business.
Right.
If you imagine every hotel and how much laundry they have, the spa does that 10 times a day.
Okay.
So it's room for a treatment room. So helping in that process to get all of that information down into the floor plan, and then creating an equipment schedule and a book that has all the details for plumbers and contractors who just scratch their head and smile at me like, Polly, what is a VC shower? Well, It's a lay-down shower with 5 shower heads. They're like, really? Seriously?
Right.
I'm like, yeah, seriously.
Uh-huh.
And they're always surprised, but they're also prepared.
Right. Because the why of your proprietary system, the why is it so important is just what you talked about. There's an actual technical manual that you provide every worker, every discipline that's building that out. Do they get specifications from you for their particular discipline?
Not every project, but most of them. And if we're not providing it directly to the ownership, we'll provide it through the spa consultant.
Okay.
Spa consultants that pay for all the other expertise they have. We provide our service consultants for free, and they turn around, vet it, and bring it to the customer, so it fits the vision that they have in that floor plan and the treatments that are going with it. So it's, if you think of a concert and you've got all those instruments and they're all playing whatever they're playing, you all have to play from the same book. And when it comes to spa equipment, we put together the book that helps everybody know what they're supposed to be playing. Just a simple overview of specs has a column just for the plumber. He says, ignore all of this and do that. Oh, ignore all these pages and do that.
Right.
And that helps him to come back with a bid, knowing exactly what he has to do. That's going to be much more accurate than gosh, ma'am, I don't know what it is. It'll cost $5,000 or $10,000. He can come back with it. Well, that'll cost you $50,000.
Right.
So the efficiencies that are built into that help everybody know what their role is in that script or in that song helps every person to do a better job and makes the job more successful in the end.
Yeah. So what is the difference between, what value proposition does the spa consultant bring to this offering as compared to what Spa Equip is doing?
Well, and I'll use another analogy because I used to be a film producer down in Los Angeles before I became too old at 35. There's a script, and every restaurant, every spa, every hotel, they all have a theme and a script that says, this is what we're going to be, and this is our character. This is the character of our place. It doesn't have to be, we're Hawaiian or we're Polynesian or we're, a Texas spa, but it's really a script that says this is our purpose and their why, and then the design of that spa and all the equipment that goes into it and all the so on that goes with it is part of telling all the different people in the script what they're supposed to do. So if you think about the thing, the prop people, we're the props.
Okay.
You can't really do a play without the props. Mm-hmm. But the spa, to answer your question, the spa consultant is the person who's writing the script and who is working with all of the characters like Spa Equip and Universal companies together, helping us to create for them our part of that show.
Okay. And have you ever had a spa consultant that has wanted to write a script that you thought, oh, my gosh, there's absolutely no way that this can be executed? I can't build the props for this one.
Oh, gosh. Well, I've made my own script sometimes. I'm like, wow, what did we just do? Here's an example. There is a consultant that got involved in our spa this year in California. And, again, remember, with the spas everywhere in the world. We're delivering to Kuwait. We're delivering to China daily. I mean, it's everywhere, but it happens to be the backyard. And this would be the Fairmont Sonoma Mission Inn. And she had an idea of creating an experience of taking the waters. And she got it to that point and said, this is sort of the idea. Unfortunately, the spa said, their ownership said, well, thank you for the idea. We'll keep going forward with the architects, which happens a lot, by the way, mm-hmm. and left that vision behind. And I kind of picked it up and went, well, what can we do from here? So they wanted to create an immersion experience, and it's called a rain tunnel. It's a number of showers as you walk into a space that's about 4 feet wide and about 12 feet long. You walk in and you step through a number of different experiences and different shower systems. And you step in and the infrared turns it on.
Wow. The
challenge in that is that showers traditionally have been only allowed to be 2.5 gallons per minute.
Say that is only allowed to be how much?
2.5.
Okay.
Somewhere along the way, we had a drought here in California as this was happening, and they said, oh, by the way, showers now need to be 1.6 gallons per minute.
Wow.
Well, that's dribble.
Uh-huh.
So beautiful to this particular property is that they have a beautiful mineral pool right outside the space of where this was. And I don't know if I begged or cried or it was just inspiration, but when I got into a mechanical electrical plumbing meeting, called the MEP meeting, I said, can we tap into that pool? Can we figure out a way to can have water streaming out of that mineral pool, so it's a mineral water shower experience, and we don't have to worry about the GPM. And they did it. It was a beautiful thing. The contractors, the electrical, everybody came together into one magical moment and created this beautiful shower.
How exciting. That's a great story. Great story.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll continue with this conversation and ask the question, what do we talk about when someone first comes to Spa Equip and wants to build a spa? So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now this same technology is available to you. They have the best Earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. EarthChannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now. So come to EarthChannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call earthchannel.com at 1-800-849-8978. That's 1-800-849-8978.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. This is RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm Patty Smucker, and I'm here with Polly Johnson with Spa Equip. And we're talking about building spas and wellness centers around the world. Polly, when someone comes to you and they want to build a spa, for the first time, what do you tell them?
I ask them why, and that's the simplest. Why do this? Some think of it as an investment. Some think of it as an extension to the business that they have already. You think about, plastic surgeons, and you might salon. And I say, why? Why bother? Yeah, it's not easy. It's a lot of work. There's staffing that's involved. And when the why is, well, I really, I want to be able to create, again, this community and extend my community. I want to be able to bring health to the world. I want to be able to, really add this value to the people that are around my location. I love that. I absolutely love it.
Right. And
the next question is business-wise. Why? Can you do it? Because great ideas, you need to have smart business minds that go with it.
Right.
It's not a cash cow. Oftentimes they're just making their money on pennies. Just finding their way through. And I know you know this more than anybody in the world because of your experience as well. So it's a business sense. It's a heartful sense that has to come together. Certainly there has to be financing that goes with it. And then once all those things are everybody's committed to what they're doing, the next step is to do it smart.
Uh-huh.
You can't just oops, there's a mistake, $5,000 here. Oops, there's a mistake. Oh, that'll cost an extra $10,000.
Right.
So it's a challenge for us when we're working on a project that's wonderful. And if we get to the end and they're not successful, it just breaks everybody's hearts.
Right.
So I always want to ask why up front.
Right. That's a great question because a lot of people try and make choices about careers without really thinking about what some of those things that you just mentioned are going to happen. Do you have the right resources to be able to do it, and what's the motivation? Because when it gets tough, you've got to have something to call upon. So
Yep.
if you're not sure why you've done it, it can be a disaster, which seems to me to be probably one of those things that's a common mistake. What are some of the other common mistakes that you've seen over the years of people that try to start spas and wellness centers?
Oh, God. There's so many mistakes that are in the design itself. If you're designing a spa, like I said, it's the laundry business. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of study and a lot of traffic flow that you have to look at as you're building any space out to be sure that you're not mingling the back of house activities and you're giving staff a place to be where they're away from all the guests. If you think Disney, there's that door you go through and you're at showtime.
Right.
And you have to have back to that door where you have my time. Mm-hmm. So a spa needs to have that as well. They need to be able to separate the two. And then the laundry by itself and where you put all those linens is just huge. So you have to go down to the minutia of, okay, how many sheets, what's the power level, how are we going to hose, how is that, where's it going to live, how are they going to get back and forth in 10 minutes to be able to get that done and change those sheets and be sure to be nice to the guests as they're leaving and the next one coming in.
Right, right.
So it's a lot of timing and it's a lot of just finesse to look at every space to make sure it's being efficient.
Right. And has food begun to play a fairly significant role in the spa experience as well?
Well, there's food you can put on your body, and there's food you can put in your mouth.
Right.
I've seen it on the body more than I've seen it in the mouth. Food, I think, is most spas don't get involved in nutritional supplements. It's a whole other expertise that they're prepared to do. But having said that, they do get involved, especially if they have a hotel and have a kitchen. They can do this because there are licensing requirements to go with it. They can serve lunch. They can make an experience. It starts in the morning, extends over lunch, extends on into the afternoon, and make it a healthy food. And from a guest standpoint, the benefit is that you're not out boozing it up. You're not taking too many calories. You're really bringing down your stress level. And at the end of the day, when you think of all your other choices, it's a pretty good choice.
Right.
For health.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so when the spa consultant has worked with the spa owner to develop the script, and you guys come in as far as the props, is there a process in which you're sort of negotiating with regards to the blend between the services that they want to do and the available equipment to do those services?
There's a specialty. If someone says, I really want to be able to showcase hydrotherapy experiences, or I really want to be able to focus on skincare. Some of those things go into the design. If you have skincare, you certainly have the experience inside the room where the guest is with the esthetician, but you also generally want to have a place where you can talk to the guest about those products afterwards and hopefully sell them some of those products so they can take that experience home. Hydrotherapy is complicated just because of the services that go with it. But outside of that, overall, what we've found experientially, it's important to create a space that is comfortable for the guest in terms of temperature and lighting and all of that. But certainly there's a table there that does its job. But we try and create spaces that can evolve over time. So, like, a classic. The classic is, I get a cheap table. Well, gosh, you should better get a better table because you're going to live with that table for a long, long time.
Right.
And if it's squeaking while you're doing the service, it's not good. Or, if you pick one that's too narrow or too short or too low or too high, there's certain, success. We've seen it happen over and over and over again. We know when things fail. So, in my experience, most people hand me a floor plan and they say, tell me what to put in there.
Uh-huh.
And I put in that which will be able to accommodate all the services that they have and without necessarily having to know what the menu is up front.
Right, right. What is there something that stands out in your mind as the most unusual services that you're seeing being offered in a spa somewhere in the world?
Unusual. Well, salt therapy has bubbled up recently.
What kind of therapy?
Salt therapy.
Salt therapy, okay. Yeah.
Salt therapy. Mm-hmm. So, and a lot of it stems around Himalayan salt because it's so pure.
Right.
But also pharmaceutical grade salts, and it can be, you can go into a room. It can be put into the air almost like a fine dust, and it's beautiful for the skin. It makes the skin feel much softer and helps to make the skin exfoliate. But also when people breathe it, it's a natural cleansing experience inside their lungs. And people who have issues, asthma, things like that, Of course, they should check with their doctor before they do this. But ultimately, they've found that this is something that helps a lot of people with breathing problems to be able to get in there and breathe in that pharmaceutical-grade salt. And it's actually prescribed in a lot of situations. So that combination of spa and medical practices, coming together in a sort of anecdotal way.
Right, yeah. And it really is evolving where there's just this very serious aspect to it. There's a beautiful salt room spa that's up in the Santa Barbara area that I absolutely love as well. So we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll wrap this up with Polly Johnson, VP of Spa Equip, and talk a little bit about what lies ahead. What are some of the future things that are going to be happening in this wellness community? So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap state. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
Oh, man, it never fails. My suitcase just got ripped apart.
Life is a journey. Make it a pleasant one. Use Samsonite. You know the name. For almost a century, Samsonite luggage has proved itself to be the worldwide leader in innovative travel solutions. Let it be yours. Visit HealthyLife.net's affiliate Samsonite on our homepage and click to look at the fine luggage from suitcases to golf travel bags. And don't forget, take a look at their travel accessories. Make life a journey, a pleasant one, with Samsonite.
HealthyLife.net, where positive overcomes negative.
I'm Patty Smucker, and this is RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. We're here with Polly Johnson, Vice President of Spa Equip, and we've been talking about the building of spas and wellness centers around the world. This particular segment is brought to you by Teodora Beauty, one of our verified American-made beauty brands, and a brand you can sample in the American-made beauty box. Go to TeodoraBeauty.com to experience a beautiful brand of hair and body care products inspired by the superfruits of the Brazilian rainforest. So, Polly, tell us a little bit about when a consumer goes to, you've talked all about spas, when a consumer goes to shop for a spa, are there any tips that you give them in terms of what they should look for?
Yeah, a lot of it stems on what you're looking to do and why are you going there? Go back to the why. It's always about the why. But if someone's looking for a place to go with a girlfriend and spend a day and have some fun doing something, you want to go for something more experiential. If you have time to stay overnight, I'd say find a destination spa because they are so hardened into what they're doing. You just walk in and you know that the intent is there. But if you're looking for a short experience, let's say a day spa, there are day spas with the biggest heart and really are fantastic around the world. and those that aren't. So I would say most important is to go into, if you go into a spa, look at the menu, check out the sort of the, I don't know, called the vibe, and see if you start to feel a trust level when you get in there. I'm sure the interior designers, and I know the interior designers and architects are all working toward making that feel good when you walk in the door. But if you're meeting with the staff and you see them just running around like maniacs, they probably aren't really thinking that much about you. They're just thinking about, getting you in and out.
Right.
If they take their time, if they're more caring, if they ask you questions, that takes you to the next level. Look at their products, all the products that they have. If they have products that are not in keeping with the character of what you want, certainly if they're testing animal products, if they have certain kinds of product lines and product ingredients, and I can't even tell you what the ingredients are, quite honestly, but I know our company Universal does, because that's a big study, and there's full-time jobs that most companies that sell products, of course, are working to do their best job, but not all of them. So you want to walk into a space that you feel like you can trust and that's managed by people that you can trust.
Yeah, and that whole just being able to walk in and see the vibe and see whether people are running around, that's such a good point. When you think about the future and some of the projects that you're working on now, can you share with us any kinds of things that we'll be seeing in the future in spas and wellness centers?
Oh, gosh. The list is long.
What's that?
The list is long. We just opened a JW in Marriott in Austin that's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. There's a cruise going out this weekend. Trump, Washington, D.C. We're putting an installation in this week for a new spa that's there, which got delayed for obvious reasons. So many major brands have done such a good job. And they're all my children. I can't pick one. I love them all.
But in terms of, is there new innovations that are occurring or new pieces of equipment that you guys are beginning to bring in? I know the last time that you and I spoke with Philippe, you mentioned your partner earlier, he's always looking at various different type of innovative new therapies. Can you share with us some of those?
Well, I don't have a good answer, unfortunately. The technology is advanced so far, and some of the the microdermabrasion and some of the light therapy, the LEDs, are doing a wonderful job for skincare. And when it comes to treatment spaces and the wood areas, I think have been the biggest push in the past 10 years, where if you're walking in, you can go to your treatment and get a massage, but when you come back out, there's other things to do, like experiential showers, experiential sauna. Steam rooms, of course, are always a wonder, but they're even cooler when they've got showers in there and they've got eucalyptus. Nothing groundbreaking in that category, but experientially, it is groundbreaking for the spa industry to invest in that kind of a space.
Right. Yeah, and that whole opportunity. I just came from a conference where a lot of what we're talking about in this new economy is experiences, that the onset of that environment where the selfie is so important. In the 80s, we were defined by what we had, whereas in this particular time, we're defined by those experiences that we have and the things that we do and those shareable experiences. And it seems like spa is a wonderful place to be able to have those shareable kinds of experiences.
Yeah, and especially if you're traveling with a girlfriend, a boyfriend, somebody, some life experience that you can do with somebody else, but you're not looking at your phones. I mean, that by itself, come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I live in a tourist town, and there they are in beautiful Calistoga with the geothermal waters and the wine tasting, blah, 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 and they're walking along the street all looking at the phones.
Yeah, that's going to be. It's going to be the death of our society. Is that small little screen? Tell us about
it's a small gift to give them back that time.
Say that again.
It's a small, but it is a gift to give people back the time without having to be online.
Right. Tell us about cold therapies. Is there some interesting things that are happening in that arena?
Well, yeah, and as a matter of fact, just where we're located here in Calistoga, there's a cryotherapy place just opened downstairs. I can't speak to the therapeutic benefits except that it's supposed to make you feel healthier and sort of reboot your body. Mm-hmm. It's fascinating because it's a whole new business model that's somewhat spa-oriented but has this 70-degree below zero capsule that you step into for 3 minutes. I personally haven't done it, but my business partner, Flip, certainly has. And
no, wait a minute. Let me make sure that I heard that correctly. You said just 70 below zero?
Yeah, for 3 minutes.
Oh, my gosh.
And all you get are mittens on your fingers and mittens on your toes, and you know all the other parts are just there for 3 minutes.
Naked.
Yeah. Now, I went to college in northern Minnesota. I know what 70 below is like, and it's brutal.
I can't even imagine it for 5 seconds, no less 3 seconds. Or 3 minutes.
It's true.
And so the theory here, though, is that
Those are 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
3 minutes. And so
long minutes.
The 3 minute the theory here is that it sort of shocks the body, yes, and strengthens everything about the body, the immune system. Again, just the same way as we're doing with water, yes, where it is releasing some of those internal pharmacy, I call it, all of the endorphins and the chemistry within the body. It is forcing a rush of those things, which are having some positive outcomes with regards to our health.
Yes, absolutely. You put it brilliantly.
Well, and it will continue, the continuation, as we've mentioned at the very beginning. Spa and the thirst for rejuvenation is as long as humans have been alive. We've always been seeking a better quality of life and to live longer. So it sounds like you have pretty good long-term job security, Polly.
I've got a good seat in the bus, and you know, I have to say the industry, though it's I could cry just talking about leaving it. It's global, but it's still a very small community, and it's really a wonderful place to be, both as a provider to the spas, as being a spa owner, and as a guest. It's just all good.
Well, thank you for taking the time to share a little bit of your world, and we look forward to possibly having you back in the future as you do some more exciting things and can come back and share that with us.
Thank you.
All right, well, that'll do it for us for today, and we'd love to have you join us every week, but next week in particular, join us for The Spiritual Art of Beauty with David Kingeson, the Zen-like approach for hair cutting and a cool, iconic style. Send us your questions and comments to request@AmericanMadeBeauty.com. I'm Patty Smucker. You can hear RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. Thank you for listening to Radio AMB, where we think pretty is pretty important in all things in beauty.